This video is not a re-rack from last week. We actually have another severe weather threat for today, Tuesday, April 4th, and it will favor central, southern, and eastern Iowa again. Over eastern Iowa, we have a level 4 threat. This is on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being the lower threat, 5 being the highest threat. In the area labeled 4, that extends from Waterloo to Cedar Rapids to Iowa City. It also includes Grinnell, Ottumwa, and Oskaloosa, the Quad Cities, and Burlington. Over central Iowa, including Metro Des Moines and Ames, we are under a level 3 threat that extends farther south to include Creston, Osceola, Sheraton, Lamoni, and then we have a level 2 threat farther to the west and northwest. Here are the primary threats we are expecting to deal with today. Our number one concern will likely be large hail with storms that develop. It could be 1+ inches in diameter. We could have damaging wind gusts, especially later tonight. And then we also do have a tornado threat today, and that will be highest over eastern Iowa. So I've given you a zoomed in view here of that map, and this shows you some of the towns in our area and what risk area they are included in. Again, hail being the number one threat, I think, today, but also tornadoes could develop and damaging winds too. Now, the main time frame will be 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. There may be some stronger storms that linger into the overnight hours, but I think the worst of it will be ending in our area by 10 o'clock tonight. Here is the severe hail outlook, and where we've got the red, that is where hail will be the greatest concern. I think that'll be from Metro Des Moines out to the east and to the southeast, but areas highlighted in yellow could also see hail. A similar trend here for the tornado risk. It will be highest over eastern and southeastern Iowa. Strong tornadoes are possible there. And in the yellow area, that's where we could see tornadoes develop, but it's not a guarantee. The wind threat, again, will be strongest later on tonight, and that will be highlighted here also in the red shaded area where the greatest wind risk will be. So keep in mind this will be primarily along and east of I-35 and mainly south of Highway 30. This is part of the reason why we have severe weather in the forecast today. A very large swath of 80s and 70s over central and southern Iowa, but then cooler air that stays to our north where highs will be in the 50s and 60s. Now currently I'm forecasting 79 for Des Moines, but I think low 80s are within reach. We are going to warm up pretty quickly once we get into the afternoon. It'll be slow through the morning. Even at 12, I expect temperatures to be only in the 40s and 50s over central and northern Iowa, so it's not going to initially feel like a severe weather day. Temperatures at that hour will be in the 60s to the south, but by 2 to 3 p.m., the warm front continues to surge north, and we will see 70s to our south and over central Iowa too, and then we actually really get that peak heating around dinner time. It gets colder overnight into early tomorrow morning. That's a front that will be swinging in after a couple hours of warmth, so by tomorrow morning we are in the 30s, and tomorrow afternoon we are only in the 40s. So let's go through this hour by hour. By, say, late morning today, there will be some elevated hailstorms that are over eastern Iowa now, moving into the northeast part of our state. There will be some scattered rain showers developing over northern Iowa, and it will stay primarily over the north and northeast. I think from Des Moines to the south, we will be dry through much of the day. Now look at those clouds breaking as we head into the afternoon. By 2 to 4 p.m., I'm expecting a lot of sunshine over central and southern Iowa. And remember, when storms are in the forecast, sun can actually fuel those storms. It adds more instability into our atmosphere. Now, before this image on our map, before 6 to 7 p.m., we could have a couple of storms that fire up. It's all dependent on what we call an atmospheric capping inversion. It acts like a lid to the atmosphere, keeps storms contained until about 6 or 7 p.m., and that's when I expect the cap to break and stronger storms will form. We will see some over eastern Iowa that could be on the more intense side, and then we will have more over central and southern Iowa firing up quickly. Again, all hazards are possible at that time. This will develop into a cluster of storms, I think, over central Iowa that could be producing hail and strong wind, maybe a couple of embedded spin-up tornadoes, and then by 10 o'clock tonight, we still have storms overhead. There is some indication that what we call a QLCS, a quasi-linear convective system, a line of storms, if you will, develops around midnight and after that over the eastern part of the state. If that area develops, it also could carry a strong wind threat with it. However, because temperatures will be falling so quickly overnight when a cold front comes in, once the temperatures drop, it squashes the severe weather threat pretty fast. And again, tomorrow's highs will be in the 40s in most areas. We also will battle a good bit of wind today outside of thunderstorms, gusting 35 to at times near 40 miles per hour. It'll stay strong through the evening, briefly calms down overnight. And then during the day tomorrow, it'll be very strong again. We call these synoptic or gradient winds tomorrow, which means there's no storms associated with them, but it's just plain old blustery wind that could gust as high as 40 to 50 miles per hour. Here is our Holt Plumbing and Heating 10-day forecast. Again, near 80 this afternoon, 47 for a high tomorrow, so a major drop. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday looking quiet and sunny. There will be a chance for a few storms on Easter Sunday, mainly during the afternoon, but overall the severe weather threat looks low, and next week could be pretty incredible with highs in the 70s and a lot of sunshine.